Hi, everyone. My name is Bobby Bournes-McNutt, and I'm going to be running a repeated measures ANOVA to see the effects of attitude of participants after completing the Acme Attitude Survey to see if after eating a chocolate bar, if the attitudes change. The attitude levels range from 0, which means very bad, to 100 to mean very good. So let me go ahead and share my screen with my data set. Now, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to Analyze. I'm going to go to General Linear Model, Repeated Measures. I'm going to make this factor attitude since we are dealing with the attitude of participants. And there are 4 levels that I see when I click on variable view. Well, I'm sorry, when I click on my data, I see 4 levels. I'm going to include that 0. So I'll put a 4 here, going to add it, and I'm going to hit define. Now 0 is going to be under 1, 1 is going to be under 2, 2 is going to be under 3, and 3 is going to be under 4. Now I need to go into my EM means. I'm going to click on attitude, put it on display means, compare main effects, make sure that LSD is highlighted. I also want to click on options. I want my descriptive statistics, my estimates of effect size, and my homogeneity of test. I'm going to hit OK. And as you can see, I have my output here. So let me go ahead and share that screen with you as well. I don't know if I'm going to have trouble doing it, but let me stop sharing this one. And let me share the output screen. Okay, this is my output screen, as you can see. Here are my descriptives. I have a mean for attitude 0 at 76.57. I have a mean for attitude 1 at 83.87. And attitude 2, 79.09. Attitude 3, 78.43. And here are the standard deviations for attitude 0. It's 6.381. Attitude 1, standard deviation is 4.994. Attitude 2, standard deviation is 5.728. And attitude 3, standard deviation is 6.066. So now I want to go down to my Macaulay's test of sphericity, excuse me. And I want to go ahead and see if this test is going to be appropriate for the data. So the first thing I want to look at is my Maltese W, which is 0.860. And then I want to look at my significance level, which is 0.683. Now, since my P, which is 0.683, is greater than my 0.05, I'm going to go ahead and use the greenhouse geyser variable, which is the, let's see, I'm going to use their significance level, okay? And I forgot to go ahead and reject the null hypothesis, not reject the null hypothesis, I forgot to announce the null hypothesis in the beginning of this video. The null hypothesis for this data is there will be no significance difference in attitude after eating the chocolate bar, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, right? And I'm going to scroll down to my test of within subjects. So since I'm going to use the greenhouse geyser, since I'm going to use that statistic, that significance level, I'm going to go ahead and show that the significance level here is 0.002, which is showing that the 0.05 is actually larger. So that shows that there is a significant difference that exists amongst the attitudes after eating the chocolate. Now, what I want to do also, I want to look at the degree of freedom here, which is going to be 3 for this one and 66 here. And I want to look at my F level, which is 5.681. I'm going to use that later on to make some of my final determinations. So now I want to go back up to my Maltese test of sphericity. And I'm going to look at my chi-square, which is 3.114. My degree of freedom here is going to be 5. And my significance level here is 0.683. So I'm going to use that to actually give my final write-up when I talk about my Maltese test of sphericity. Now I want to go ahead and look at my pairwise comparisons, and this is where it gets a little longer. When I look at attitudes 1 to 2, it shows here 0.00 as a significance. So there is a significance difference that exists between attitudes 1 and 2. Attitudes 1 and 3 shows that the significance level here is 0.147. So there is no significant difference that exists between attitudes 1 and 3. Between 1 and 4, there is no significant difference that exists because the sig level is 0.339. 0.399. When I look at attitude in 2 to 1, I show that there is a significant difference that exists between 2 to 1. I also show that there is a significant difference that exists between 2 and 3, and also 2 and 4. Here, when I go to 3 to 1, again, I'm showing that there is no significant difference because the P level here is 0.147. I'm showing that there is a significant difference that exists between attitudes 3 and 2, and I'm showing that there is no significant difference that exists between attitudes 3 and 4. When I get to the last set of attitudes, 4 to 1, it shows that there is no significant difference here. Attitude 4 to 2 show that there is a significant difference exists, and attitude 4 to 3 show that there is no significant difference. So when I come over here, I was a little confused about effect size. Since I know that we were using, I know you have to basically use, from my understanding, the test of between subjects effects. So I'm going to use the partial eta squared here, and it's showing 0.999, which shows that there is a large effect size going on here between those differences. So my final analysis is that the Maltese test of sphericity shows that x squared, and it shows a degree of freedom of 5, and the Maltese test value is 0.860 with a P level of 0.683. And that test cannot be used because that sig level is more than the 0.05. So with that being stated, we're going to go ahead and switch to the Greenhouse Geyser test, which will be more appropriate. And when I use that Greenhouse Geyser value, that significance level, it shows that it's less than 0.05 because it was 0.02, which means that there is a significant difference that exists amongst the attitudes and after they eat chocolate. So right now I'm showing an F level of 5.681, and I'm showing the degrees of freedom of 3 and 66, and P, which is going to be 0.02, is less than 0.05. And again, my post hoc test showed that there were significant differences existed between attitudes 1 and 2, 2 and 1, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 3 and 2, and 4 and 2. There were no significant differences that existed between 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 3 and 1, 3 and 4, 4 and 1, and 4 and 3. And it could be determined that there were statistically significant differences in the attitudes after the chocolate bar was eaten with large effect size. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen now. Thank you so much and have a great evening.